here at QVC HQ with the one and only Miss Amanda Holden.
Where is my fanfare?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, look, there he is.
TV presenter, actress, QVC ambassador, and mum to Lexi and Holly. So welcome to our sofa, usually our sofa, not ours today.
It's actually my Acapulco string seat. I'm calling it the Mandy Love seat because it fits two people on nice. For a little cosy cuddle, a glass of rosé.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure.
So we're going to ease you in with a little game of Never Have I Ever. Now, normally I think we're probably all a little bit tipsy when we play this.
I don't need to be tipsy to be truthful.
Okay, good.
It's my detriment.
Okay, never have I ever told my kids there was no more chocolate, but it was because I'd actually eaten it all.
I don't really eat loads of chocky. Not really. I mean, even this weekend, we got all the Easter eggs and melted them down and turned them into Rice Krispie cakes. Because my children like to hunt them and then don't really ever eat them. Yeah. But I have said, I do the thing, you know, if they... That there's no ice cream or the ice cream's melted or that the bell means that they've run out if they hear the ice cream van. Okay. But yeah, my mum used to say that. She said there's bells on the ice cream van. I said, yeah, but that's the bell to say it's all gone and it's sold out. My mum used to do that.
Oh, I'm definitely stealing that. That's
stealing that one. Never have I ever passed wind and blamed my kid.
Oh, I normally blame the dog.
Okay, clever.
Yeah, they do. I'm a vegetarian, so they match mine.
Okay.
All green clouds.
So next up, we just wanted to talk about this collaboration you have with QVC. So you are the official ambassador. How did this all come about?
QVC and I had very sort of early discussions, I think a couple of years, 3 years ago, about what my passion was and because they wanted me to be part of QVC, but we didn't really know what I was going to be doing. And I think we all thought maybe I'd go into beauty or makeup or what you might expect. And I had to say to them, listen, I've got to be really honest with you, that is not my passion. This is my passion. And I opened up my phone and showed them probably over 400 photographs of curtains, wallpaper, fabrics, cushions, tables that I just constantly take on holiday. I have a few pictures of my children, you know, jumping into the swimming pool. But my husband's always like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm just taking a picture of this. I'm just taking a picture of that. So it was always going to be interiors.
Oh, brilliant. I feel like people don't really know that about you.
No, they don't. They really don't. And I'm proud that I've always done my own interior design. I've always found my own sort of way around things. And
I feel like that makes sense now when you look at the collection. It is like a bit's taken from here, a bit's taken from there, all over the world.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, even these Bundleberry mugs, I collect a famous Cornish pottery that's blue and white.
Yeah, gorgeous. I've got these in my house. I drink
good.
That's
That's what we like.
What's your favourite piece in the whole collection?
Oh, well, I mean, I do love the mugs. I think it's always going to be the trunks because I always say if all else fails, I'm just going to do Bundleberry trunks in various different guises. And in fact, coming up, we are doing them in something other than metal, which I'm really excited about. And I think this kind of thing you see on the high street, but it's so expensive. We've managed to do it at a fantastic price point. And all the different sizes as well means that you can use them as furniture, storage, jewellery boxes.
Totally.
So many different ways
I've got them in my daughter's bedroom.
I love them.
Basically, my house is Bundleberry. It looks like
I'm loving
Bundleberry
this.
throughout
Little
my
bit of
house.
stalker.
I know,
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Number one QVC fan. And how about in your house? What's your favourite room in your house?
We have a room that's supposed to be a dining room, but I prefer eating in the kitchen so everyone can, you know, all chat and everything. So we turned this room into a bar, which sounds very Del Boy. I haven't got one of those, you know, where I thought. And I never really liked what we did. I always wanted it to feel like a club and sort of somewhere really cool because we socialise a lot with our friends. Everyone comes over. So it's the wallpaper is House of Hackney and it's sort of palm leaves of teals and greys and blues and whites.
Lovely.
It's quite busy. It's quite out there. And we've done the woodwork in off black, which is a really lovely dark, you know, off black as you would expect. But I've even gone dark on the ceiling to bring the ceiling in.
Nice.
And we found a company that sprays anything. So I took this, we've got speakers in the ceiling, sorry. So we took the sort of, you know, the mesh out, had sent them off and had them sprayed the same colour to put them back in.
Such a good idea.
And even the white, you know, the sort of white lights that you put in, all of them have been sprayed.
Amazing.
So it looks amazing. Gold lights. And looks really glam
bet
in there
you've had
now.
some fabulous parties in there.
Well, we haven't officially opened yet. I might get Piers Morgan to come cut the ribbon. Yeah.
Brilliant
I think
idea.
Hopefully that
You would
won't
enjoy
put
that
any of
way
my
too
friends off
much.
coming.
Yeah.
But, I might get them to cut the ribbon, go, and then have everyone.
Before people come.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. So moving on to talk a little bit about parenting.
Yes.
How have you managed to keep your girls out of the press?
Well, we did for a long time,
Yeah.
and then they've ended up all over my Instagram.
This is the thing, isn't it?
It's terrible.
You go to all this effort.
Yeah, for so long we kind of did shots of them from the back. I suppose when they were really little, and as they've grown up, it's a pride thing.
Yeah, of
You end up
course.
being so proud of them, or
course,
they've got a
yeah.
gorgeous
Show them
dress
off.
on, and
You just want to show
it was
them.
and I listened very intently to my husband because he's not in the public eye. He hardly ever comes to events with me. He's very private, and he wanted to keep them private. But the minute he went, Lexi looks blinking gorgeous, you need to post that. I was like, seriously, I'm allowed to post it? That's amazing. She gets quite embarrassed because obviously people at school go, oh my God, your mum posted a picture.
Yeah.
But the other one's like, yeah, post it, mummy, post it.
Oh, it's so
So
sweet.
they're not private anymore.
I think
but
it's fine if it
it's
works for you and it
inevitable.
works for them. then
yeah,
it's fine.
and they get photographs with me anyway, so I
Yeah.
just think, oh well.
Yeah, why not go for it?
Do they think you're a cool mum?
No, I am not a cool mum. They think the only time they think it's cool is when we're doing live shows of Britain's Got Talent, and they use me to get to David Walliams because all their friends want their books signed.
It's terrible, so they think David Williams is cooler than
Yeah.
you. This is not
Yeah, they all love
okay.
David Walliams. Yeah. I'm quite handy to roll out, when you've got a parent that's got an interesting job. Yeah. I can go in and do the chat.
school mum.
The chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
assembly.
you can ask me what you want. Yeah. What's Simon Cowell like?
Okay, so we've worked with some amazing maternal health charities. Do you feel like when you went through what you went through, you felt supported and you had people you could speak to?
I was very lucky because obviously after I had a stillbirth, that's a horrendous and nightmarish thing to have to deal with. But one of my friends, who I became friends with 3 midwives years ago, and one of them is a bereavement counsellor. She'd actually lost her own daughter. So she was like a godsend to me. Each of them individually added something. I call them the Witches of Eastwick, or the Witches of Westmid, because that's where the hospital was. I met them. But Jackie particularly was invaluable when it came to offloading. And even with Chris, because I think people forget about the dads in these
Totally agree,
situations.
yeah.
And Chris was like my rock. He was very strong. He was a real warrior. He got us through it as a family, and then developed shingles because of stress.
Isn't that a reaction to
But
all?
still was able to ask weird and silly questions that he'd be too embarrassed to ask a stranger.
Yeah.
He asked to
Yeah.
Jackie.
Yeah.
So I think having somebody in the know
Yeah.
is imperative. But we were saying earlier, weren't we, that now 7 years on, it's sadly even more common,
Yeah.
and we have the highest rate of stillbirth in this country.
Really?
And so this kind of counselling is just so important, just being able to talk. But more people are talking.
Yeah.
There's so many people blogging, so many websites. I mean, I couldn't find anything 7 years ago.
And you've set up your charity now?
Yeah, we set up Theo's Hope 7 years down the line, and we're back in a really good space where we just thought, what can we do? I always wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I wanted to set up bereavement rooms in hospitals because we were lucky that when we gave birth to Theo, I didn't have to be placed on a maternity ward,
Yeah.
which I think is the most horrendous thing for a mother. Because you just
Yeah.
don't feel anything joy hearing lovely, healthy babies crying around you. So we were lucky we were put in a little room where we were able to be private and grieve as a family. But 7 years on, most hospitals now have that facility, which I was like, gosh, that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
What don't they have?
Yeah.
What they don't have are bereavement counsellors.
Yeah.
So Theo's Hope is raising enough money to fund 2 bereavement counsellors at the Rainbow Hospital in Manchester, which is part of Tommy's.
Okay.
We'll roll that out as as a scheme so that we can then prove to the National Health Authority Service that it works and that having someone to talk to is
amazing,
actually cheaper than giving out antidepressants or, God forbid, anything
That's
else.
amazing. And we're so behind this, so we'll
Yeah.
do lots of social
Yes,
media on it.
yeah.
So-
Giovanna Fletcher's got an amazing podcast
Yeah.
and her
Happy
Holden
Mum, Happy
Happy
Mum,
Baby.
Happy Baby. I've done that.
Yeah.
But there are so many people now talking about it. I literally had to scroll the internet to find a story where somebody had
Yeah.
lost a baby and then successfully had another one.
Isn't that
It was
amazing? The
awful.
difference now, obviously horrendous for you at that time to not be able to have the support. But I think people give social media now such a bad rep, and people are addicted and everything. It saves lives.
Yeah.
I think
It
it's the
absolutely
support you
does.
feel from strangers.
Just finding a forum and finding
Yeah.
someone that's been through exactly what you've been through
Yeah.
and more often than not had a happy
Yeah.
ending or
Yeah.
conclusion
Yeah,
or a way
absolutely.
through it
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Then on to slightly happier times. You obviously have two almost teenage daughters. So,
Well, no,
sorry,
one-
Holly's 7?
So Holly, I have Lexi who's 13.
Yeah, so
she turned
a
13
full
this year.
teenager.
So no,
Actual
she is
teenager.
an actual teenager. And Holly who turned 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is that? So I have a 3 almost 14-year-old who's actually 3, who's full of sass already, and I'm petrified for her to become a teenager. What can I expect?
Gosh,
How
I
is
mean,
it?
it's weird, isn't it? Because I think I'm very lucky because Lexi's quite young for her age
Okay.
still, I think. For me, it's keeping your children as young as possible in this world
you don't want them
and
to grow
letting
up
them
too fast.
enjoy
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah.
their friends might consider childish, but I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No one needs to know what goes on
Yes,
behind
I
closed
like
doors.
that.
I love
It's
that.
so
No one ever really
true.
says that. It's
Yeah.
such a good point.
Like, let your children be children.
Yeah, they don't know what
Yeah.
fortnight is. They think it's 2 weeks.
Good.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
I mean, me too. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly how it should be.
And how do you juggle the kids and work? Because, I mean, you were here till 1
I mean,
last
I've
night,
got an
back here at
amazing
9 this morning.
husband. He also works, because I always think that's a question for dads as well. It's like
Yeah.
lots of working dads as well. We obviously have help. We have help, especially in the mornings. Especially, I'm starting a radio show soon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
congratulations.
you. I'm so excited.
So what time do you need to be there?
I need to be there at 6:30.
Okay.
Well, in fact, I probably need to be there at 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going to wear full hair and makeup, even though it's on the radio.
Yeah,
There's
of
a
course.
camera in
Fabulous.
that studio.
Right.
I'm going for the sidebar of the Daily Mail. Whatever outfits I'm
Every
wearing.
day.
Every day I'm going to be on that sidebar for something. So yeah, my husband is always there in the mornings.
Okay.
And I try to do everything around so that I can be there for
Yeah.
pick up.
Yeah.
So it's just the in between. But now they're both at school,
juggling
it's a
it.
lot
It's
easier.
much easier.
But my mum comes and helps, my sister,
that's
my
good.
mother-in-law.
That's
Okay.
so good.
So it's good. But we have help.
Can you please do your best Simon Cowell impression?
Amanda! Oh, my blood runs cold when he says it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a pleasure. It's lovely to meet
Lovely
you
to meet
girls.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.